What if I told you that I took 8 different metrics and 25 of the top wide receivers in the NFL and built a tool for us to try and find some of the safest wide receivers in 2023? I did. I literally just spent a lot of hours doing that. But what I found was a little bit surprising, especially the dude who finished in last place. Now, when you're talking about ball catchers, safety should be a #1 priority. That's why when this show is over, you need to head over to manscaped.com. It's not just body hair trimmers. They have body wash, shampoo, lotion, even some fancy body spray. But we want to make sure you get a discount when you go over there. So be sure to use code word headliners at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. I mean, everything is better when you get it for a cheaper price, especially nowadays. Am I right? All right, now we're going to talk about some wide receivers, and we're going to try to find some of the safer options here in 2023 fantasy football, and we're going to do it in a way that no one else does. But I also need to give away a couple free draft guides. You guys have been hitting your like goals on my videos over the last couple weeks, so I have 2 winners to announce right now. They're up on the screen. It's Gary's Got Issues Becker and ERB Jones 3041. Congratulations. Be sure to send me an email to info@thefantasyheadliners.com from that account right there, and I will get you hooked up. But we're going to continue this, right? If this video can get over 1,000 likes, I'll pick another winner from down below in the comment section to give a free 2023 fantasy football draft guide. They're just flying. They're literally flying off the virtual shelves right now, so you don't want to be caught with your pants around your ankles when draft season comes. So be sure to get yours now. Hit the like button, leave the comment below. But like I said, we're going to be comparing 25 of the top wide receivers in 8 different metrics. The metrics that we're going to be looking at here today are these ones. It's average games played. We need players on the field to score points. Average targets per game. We can't score points without touches and opportunity. How about 2022 target separation? We need wide receivers that can get open. We're also going to look at the 2022 drop rate. Once they get the target, if they're open, are they catching it? What about yards after the catch per reception? Once they got that little ball in their hands, are they able to make something happen with it? How about 2022 red zone targets per game? You know we like them TDs around here. We have 2022 fantasy points scored per game, because who doesn't like fantasy points? And then 2023 projected ADP, because like we've already established in this show, cheaper is better. We're then going to score all of these guys 1 through 25 in each metric, with 25 being the highest score. After going through all 8 metrics, we're going to total up their final scores and see who comes out on top. But it's a new year. Just because something has happened here over the past couple seasons doesn't mean it's absolutely going to happen again in 2023. Things change. So when we see these final rankings at the end of the show, we'll kind of discuss 2023 to see if any of these guys need to go up or down this list. Now, obviously, we can't include rookie wide receivers, right? They haven't been in the NFL yet. They haven't even caught a pass in the NFL yet, so I can't call them safe. I also tried to pull 3-year averages wherever I could, but there are a ton of stud wide receivers right now that have only been in the league for like 1 or 2 years, so I included them as well, so keep that in mind. But here are the 25 guys that we're looking at in today's show. And you can see them all here on the screen. We got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, hashtag Doomtar in the chat. We got Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin, Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Michael Pittman, Deontay Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, and Mike Evans. Now, obviously, I could have done like 100 wide receivers, but we're trying to do these in smaller chunks. It's a little bit easier to digest. So if you don't see somebody's name on this list, more than likely they're going to be in a future video, so stay tuned. First thing we're going to be looking at, though, is average games played per year. Right off the top, we see Devontae Smith, still a young guy, right? Still at 17 games, but Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf at 16.66. That's great. You know, they're going to be out there weekly. Amon-Ra, hashtag Doomtar in the chat if you remember that. We also got both Dolphins receivers, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. They're going to be on the field with Diggs, Lamb, McLaurin, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, and Deontay Johnson all at 16 plus. That's great. That is exactly what we're looking for. Really, we have to understand that football is a very difficult game, especially when we're looking at like wide receivers and running backs. They get hit a lot, and it's not uncommon for a lot of these guys to miss a game or two throughout the season. That is not the end of the world, but we're really looking for those guys that are 15 plus, so we can see guys like Evans and Higgins, Pittman, Ayuk, all those guys over 15 games. That's a good sign. DeAndre Hopkins at 11.66, that's no bueno, right? He's dealt with suspensions and injuries the last couple years in Arizona. Deebo Samuel is always banged up at averaging 12 games per season. Keenan Allen kind of got robbed last year, right? I mean, he missed a few games last year, and that really drugged down his average. He was really starting to get away from that quote-unquote injury-prone tag that a lot of people gave him earlier in his career, but he dealt with some injuries last year as well. But like I said, 15 plus is exactly what we're looking for. What about average targets per game, right? We have to have the opportunities. Davante Adams at 10.6 targets per game. I mean, if you're averaging 10 targets a game, that's elite level, right? That's not something we can really bank on each and every week. But he's been the main focal point of his offense for multiple years, whether it was in Green Bay or in Las Vegas. But how does that number get affected this year with no Derek Carr, and now we have Jimmy G? Jimmy G is just not a great quarterback for Davante Adams. It's going to be really intriguing to see how those two work together. Stephon Diggs right on the cusp, right, of 9.88 targets per game, along with Keenan Allen at 9.83, Deontay Johnson, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Jamar Chase, all over 9 targets per game. That is perfect. That is exactly what we're looking for. Then we got DJ Moore, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra again right here at 8 plus targets per game. Not a bad number at all. You look at Amon-Ra, he could get more work earlier in the season with no Jameson Williams. AJ Brown, I don't see that number increasing too much with Devontae Smith there with that backfield with Dallas Goedert, because right now I'm feeling so damn fancy. When DJ Moore, I expect that number to be pretty close to that here this year. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit higher. Are the quality of targets going to be great? I don't think they're going to be as bad as a lot of people think, but that number could definitely increase here just a little bit. But then we got guys at the end of the list like Brandon Ayuk and Jerry Jeudy and Mike Williams, sub 7 targets per game. Now with Mike Williams, not surprised, right? Mike Williams, more of a big play, deep threat, 50-50 ball type of guy. Not going to get huge volume, but does get bigger plays. Jerry Jeudy dealt with bad quarterback play a lot just last year. Brandon Ayuk, another one of those guys that doesn't get a lot of volume, but does a lot with what he gets for sure. All right, let's look at last year's target separation numbers. Now, if you don't know what target separation is, at the time of the target, how close is the wide receiver to his closest defender? Now, 2.31, this is in yards, people, 2.31 yards of separation at the time that the pass arrives to the wide receiver. That is over 6 feet between him and the closest defender. Brandon Ayuk is wide the hell open, all over the field, all the time. Keenan Allen, we know he's a great route runner, 2.18. Cooper Kupp at 2.15, really seemed like he was open all the time. Jalen Waddle and his speed at 2.08, and then Stephon Diggs at 2.04. The only guys on this list that had over 2 yards of separation at the time the ball arrived on targets. That number is elite status. Anything over 2 is just crazy. And then we got Justin Jefferson, who's at 1.91. He's not far off, and we know he gets a crap ton of targets. Mike Williams, there's that big play number down the field. Tyreek Hill at 1.88. A lot of people expect Tyreek Hill to have a larger target separation just due to his speed, but he's really become a lot more of a route runner than just a go ball guy down the field. So that number is going to be at 1.88, right there with Davante Adams. When we look at the bottom of the list, the biggest surprise here for me, a lot of people may look at Jamar Chase, but it's really DK Metcalf for me at 1.44. It just wasn't there for DK last year, right? This big play, deep threat, absolute monster of a human that can run like 4.40s. he just wasn't separating much last year from other defenders, became a lot more of a possession receiver last year, which we've mentioned in other videos, but at 1.44, a little bit shocking there for DK Metcalf. What if we go to drop rate though? Because, right, we want these guys to get targets, but they gotta catch the damn targets. Now, obviously, right here at the top, Cooper Kupp doesn't drop very many balls. 1% was his drop rate. No, I mean, come on. They're still human. They're not going to never drop a pass. But when we look at the bottom of this list, Ja'Marr Chase, I mean, come on, Ja'Marr. You're my boy, Ja'Marr. You're probably one of my favorite players to watch on Sunday. Stop dropping the damn football, Ja'Marr. I mean, do whatever you can. Get some better damn gloves, right? Because it's not Joe Burrow's fault. Joe Burrow giving you the good targets. You got to hold on to him. Brandon Ayuk at 7.1. Little bit too high. I'd like to see that number come down. Amari Cooper at 6.8. That's like where he's been forever. So I'm not overly surprised about Amari Cooper. DK Metcalf down there at 6.4 with Debo and Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson's another dude. Why can't we hold on to it? Why are we dropping the ball so damn much? I mean, this is all you're asked to do is catch the ball. Stop dropping it, Deontay Johnson. All right. Other than that, pretty average across the board. Not too crazy. What about 2022 yards after the catch per reception? And this right here is where Debo makes his money, right? Not so much with, how far is he down the field or how open is he? He gets the ball in his hands and he makes big plays happen. He breaks tackles and he averaged 10.3 yards after the catch per reception. The next closest guy was almost 4 yards behind him with Ja'Marr Chase, and he was at 6.5, which is still a great number. Think about that. 6.5 yards after the reception. So as long as Ja'Marr Chase was catching a 4-yard pass every time, he was getting you a first down. And I can guarantee you, not every reception was only 4 yards down the field. Those numbers are astronomical. Same with Cooper Kupp at 5.7, Waddle at 5.5. Anything over 5 is elite. And we see the likes still of A.J. Brown and Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, very underrated when it comes to route running. This dude can make things happen. We need to get him some better quarterback play. I'm hoping Russell Wilson can bounce back under that Sean Payton offense. But then Brandon Ayuk, Devontae Adams, anything like I said, 5 and over is great. Bottom of this list, DeAndre Hopkins at 3.5. Now, so much goes into this, right? The Cardinals just haven't been a very good football team. But they really didn't put DeAndre Hopkins in a position to do very much after the catch. It was really a possession-type receiver, kind of like we talked about DK Metcalf earlier, didn't really do a whole lot. Same with Stephon Diggs. A little bit surprising with Stephon Diggs, right? Some big plays were there throughout the season, but didn't do a whole lot after the catch. Mike Evans, not a big shocker there. DK Metcalf, we mentioned him earlier. Keenan Allen, right? Deontay Johnson, even safe, solid wide receivers that just don't do a whole lot after the catch. What about 2022 red zone targets, right? Because we like them TDs around here. This number right here, out of all the metrics we look at, I mean, Debo's 10 yards after the catch is pretty freaking stupid, but Ja'Marr Chase averaging over 2 red zone targets per game it has to be up there, right? That is absolutely stupid high. 2.17. Look at Justin Jefferson right behind him, his former college teammate at 1.65. These numbers are huge. Then we have Keenan Allen at 1.6, DK Metcalf at 1.59, Stephon Diggs at 1.35. None of these guys are overly crazy to think about, though, right? They're their team's top wide receiver options. They're going to get the looks in the red zone. But Ja'Marr Chase, Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen, those numbers crazy. At the bottom of the list, we have the guys like Jalen Waddle, DeAndre Hopkins at another. Dude is at the bottom of all these damn lists. Keep that in mind. Then we got Tyreek Hill at 0.65, not a big red zone guy. DJ Moore, they didn't really score touchdowns in Carolina. They didn't even get in the damn red zone hardly last year, so that's not a surprise. T. Higgins at 0.71. A little bit of a surprise, being that so much is going towards Ja'Marr Chase. You would think that would be a little bit closer to half and half, but it's really not. Chase just dominates that. All right, let's look at 2022 fantasy points per game now. Cooper Kupp was on an absolute tear once again prior to injury. Probably would have finished as the wide receiver 1 overall had he played the entire season, but it would have been super close between him and Justin Jefferson, who averaged 17.9. The only 2 guys over 17 points per game, Devontae Adams right here at 16.8. I have to expect that number to come down. I just do. I don't think that they can do it in Las Vegas with Jimmy G under center with Devontae Adams. I just don't see it happening. Tyreek Hill at 16.6. that number could actually increase slightly this year. And I say that because even if Tua is to go down with another injury, I really hope it doesn't. I like Tua on the field. We have Mike White as a backup there in Miami now, who is head and shoulders better than Skylar Thompson, who we had last year. Mike White still likes to push the ball down the field. We saw him do that with the Jets the last couple of seasons. He could still do that with Waddle and Hill in Miami. We obviously love those double digits, right? We got to stay 10 plus. DJ Moore and Diontae Johnson just couldn't do it last year, right? Hopefully, an opportunity for more touchdowns for Diontae Johnson this year. Dude's got to get more than 0. And then DJ Moore in a new offense in Chicago where he's going to be absolutely peppered with targets, hoping that number comes up here as well. But we want it for cheap, right? We got to get it at the cheapest price. So projected ADP here for 2023 is this right now. And Mike Evans still the cheapest man available out of the ones that we're looking at here today. Followed by Brandon Ayuk, Diontae Johnson, Michael Pittman, Mike Williams, and DJ Moore. They're all pick 50 or later this year. We already know the guys on the other side of the column, the Jeffersons, Chase, Kupps, Hills, Diggs, Lambs, they're all going to be super expensive, right? They're going to be picks inside the top 2 rounds. And that's going to wrap up all 8 metrics. So remember, what I said I did is I went through each one of these 8 metrics and I scored each one of these guys from 25 to 1, 25 being the highest performer in each metric. I then totaled up all their numbers at the end, and here were the top 15 wide receivers with the highest point total after totaling up all 8 metrics. Number 1, shouldn't be a surprise, is Justin Jefferson, followed by Cooper Kupp, Davante Adams, Keenan Allen, Amon-Ra, Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin, Mike Williams, Diontae Johnson, DJ Moore, and Ja'Marr Chase. Now, we also mentioned that we're going to look at 2023 because some of these situations have changed a little bit for a few of these guys. For Jefferson, there's no more Dalvin Cook in the backfield, but they did just draft Jordan Addison, who is somewhere on an interstate driving 140 plus. Come on. Jordan Addison is a supreme talent and could definitely be relied upon heavily in this offense. Don't screw it up with being stupid off the field. Nothing really different for Cooper Kupp. You know he's going to be option 1, 2, and 3 in that offense. Matthew Stafford will be back, though. Hopefully he's healthy. Davante Adams, new quarterback with Jimmy G. Keenan Allen, they just added Quentin Johnston to this offense. How does that really affect Keenan Allen? I really don't think it does. If anything, it's going to affect Mike Williams, whose name's a little bit further down this list. For Amon-Ra, we have Jameson Williams suspended, so you know he's going to get a butt ton of targets to start the year. Not much different there for Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin. He has a new quarterback looking like Sam Howell there. Mike Williams, we just talked about with Keenan Allen. If anyone takes a hit by the drafting of Quentin Johnston, it's going to be Mike Williams because they're basically like clones of each other. So really, we're going to be splitting up those big plays down the field between 2 different guys now, while Keenan's still going to be in the slot, racking up receptions. Then we got Diontae Johnson. Not a lot different there. They added Allen Robinson. You got Pickett in his second year, along with George Pickens as well. DJ Moore, he's on a new team, new quarterback, Justin Fields there in Chicago. And then not much different for Ja'Marr Chase. Now, when I look at this list, though, there's 2 guys that I feel took an immediate hit that I don't know if I can call them safe, despite what the numbers have shown over the past few years, given what we know here in 2023. That's going to be Davante Adams and Mike Williams. Davante Adams with Jimmy G is like oil and water. Davante Adams has really been a wide receiver over his career that has benefited from the deep ball, the big play. What does Jimmy G not do? Throw the ball deep. It just doesn't happen very often. So Davante Adams may still get a large amount of targets and receptions, but I see that touchdown number coming down, and I also see that receiving yard total coming down as well. With Mike Williams, like I said, we're splitting 50-50 with him and Quentin Johnston. But I also don't want people to turn on this video and be like, oh, thanks for telling me Justin Jefferson is good, Jake. I didn't know that when I clicked on the video. It's not the purpose of this video. But what we like to do is build out these metrics, and if we know we have the top finishing guys in the top of our rankings, it means we're looking at the right things. So let's go ahead and remove all the guys that we already know are going to be within the first 2 rounds at least. That's going to be Jefferson Kupp, Amon-Ra Diggs, Lamb Brown Hill, and Ja'Marr Chase. Jalen Waddle, he's fringe, right? He's fringe between late second, early third. But that leaves us the names in white. And honestly, those are the names I'm paying attention to. Keenan Allen, Jalen Waddle, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore. Those are the guys that we can look at after this exercise is over here and be like, these guys have a lot of the same qualities and traits as the top performers in fantasy football that we can get at a slightly cheaper price and hope to really give us some of that safety at the position. But I also wanted to throw up all top 25 because I teased it at the beginning when I said I was a little bit shocked to find out who finished last after going through all of these metrics. Well, here are the top 25 overall. The players in yellow are the ones that didn't make the top 15. So those are the bottom 10. And look at the very bottom name here, T. Higgins. I don't understand. I mean, we all love T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a Verge, another guy. Verge second, third round pick right there, but came in last in all of these. But what I found even more mind-blowing is he didn't even really finish in the top 50% of any of these metrics, and that's crazy to think about for T. Higgins. But when you see the names that he's joined with at the bottom there, not overly safe, right? Deebo Samuel, Jerry Jeudy, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans. Who the hell's gonna be Mike Evans' court? Is it really gonna be Baker Mayfield? Is he gonna have a Geno Smith type season? Maybe, but he's not safe right now. DK Metcalf, they've added Jackson Smith and Jigba. Amari Cooper has a lot more people to share targets with in Cleveland now. Devontae Smith on the verge there. I really feel if Devontae Smith would have played it all season like he finished 2022, he probably wouldn't be right here, but he's also splitting with A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert as well. The new backfield. Michael Pittman has Anthony Richardson as a new quarterback. Brandon Ayuk, we still don't know who's going to be the quarterback in San Francisco. So really, when I saw T. Higgins finish dead last, 25 out of 25, made me raise my eyebrows a little bit, and maybe we need to look a little bit closer at T. Higgins. But what surprised you? After going through all of these metrics, was there any one name that stood out? Was there any one metric that you saw somebody finish somewhere and you were like, damn, I was not expecting that? Leave those comments down below. Remember, we're already trying to give away a free draft guide. At 1,000 likes, we'll do that to a random commenter down below. So be sure to hit that like button, leave that comment below. I'm going to get out of here for the day. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day and then do your part to make the world a better place.